Why TBC? What's the deal? Now, I was reading this article on Boxing Scene. I'll leave it in the description box. Read it yourself. Come to your own surmise. Now, Lucas Browne has been getting called out by a lot of guys, even guys that have fights already scheduled. Joseph Parker, Shannon Briggs has called him out. Sulaiman Haumono has called him out. All these guys are within the top 15 of the WBA. We know Lucas Browne has won that WBA regular title from Chigayev. You know, and Lucas Browne came out and he replied to everybody who's been calling him out. You know, Haumono said that his team is prepared to give him $1 million for a fight in Australia. We know Shannon Briggs is, you know, calling out anybody with the title, trying to position himself into a title fight. You know, so let me read a couple quotes and I'm gonna go ahead and chop it up with you guys. Lucas Browne said, let's see, he says, "I've hardly slept a week since winning the title, as my media commitments have been nothing short of incredible. It's beginning to sink in that I've created Aussie supporting history, and I'm still buzzing. I've been reading all the callouts, but simple. I'm the WBA heavyweight champion of the world. I'm involved in the WBA tournament. My next fight will be Fred Zakindo. Let's hope it is in Australia. I'll leave all that to my manager, Matt Clark, and promoter, Ricky Hitman Hatton. Everyone else needs to concentrate on earning a shot like I did. I had to travel all around the world to get an opportunity to make history, and these boxers think they can jump the queue by throwing out insults." Okay. Then, let's see here. Then Matt Clark clarified, "Prior to the fight with Chigayev, we signed an undertaking that our next fight and first defense of the title will be against Fred Zakindo. And we know that fight with Zakindo is a part of that WBA tournament. I just made a video it's uploaded right now. David Haye is calling out Lucas Browne also. They're trying to get him signed for May 21st. I know he's supposed to fight Zakindo in June. I spoke about that in that video. Zakindo's talking about, they're talking about is he's going to be healed in time for his injury. You would think Zakindo would take this fight. He's 42 years old. His opportunities are getting thin, and the heavyweight division is growing. You know, there's some prospects and up and coming contenders. So if Zakindo wants a shot, you think he'll take his shot now and not wait." Then they go on to say that we will honor our contractual agreement, and we look forward to having Lucas win the WBA tournament and continue making history. So I'm not sure, you know, I'm not sure, you know, but money talks, man, and bullshit, even titles, can walk 1,000 miles when there's enough money involved. So I know Lucas Browne has his WBA strap, but it's just, you know, he's coming across, he's being very dismissive of guys, man. And you can argue he can be dismissive if he wants to, but this WBA regular title really has him gassed up like he's the actual, like the real actual WBA champion. I think these sanctioning bodies need to just get rid of these regular and interns, because sometimes the fighters, they get these titles and Lucas Browne really believes he's a world champion. Now, technically, yes, it's a regular world title, but in the grand scheme of things, we look at the big picture, we know that Tyson Fury is the fucking WBA champion, man. I mean, and even when Ruslan Chigayev had it, it was like, no, you're not the WBA champion. You know, at that time, Klitschko was. It was like, no, they need to get rid of these titles, man, because now you got Lucas Browne speaking. I'm not gonna call him a diva or anything, but he's just, you know, guys need to earn their shot and do what I did and work their way up through the ranks. And it's like, I don't know, man. Just having this title is getting Lucas Browne, you know, and I understand he wants to stay course, you know, want to stay accord with this WBA tournament. I'm a person, if one of these sanctioning bodies is going to make a tournament, you have to stay compliant with the tournament, man. You can't just start mixing guys and adding guys and have them take fights that's not in the tournament, unless it's to better the tournament as a replacement. David Haye is rated, I believe, higher than Fred Zakindo. I don't have it in front of me, but I know I believe David Haye is number 9. I know he's in the top 10. So that fight wouldn't be far-fetched, although Haye isn't in the WBA tournament. You know, so Lucas Browne, you know, he just came out and he just responded to everybody. He's 24-0 with 21 knockouts. You know, I want to see his weight stay the same in the 240s. I know he came in his last fight with Chigayev, but as far as him, you know, traveling all over the world, and you know, I'm looking, and it's like he's fought pretty much all his fights in Australia. You know, I mean, he did have a fight in China against Jason Gavin. You know, he did have a fight in the UK against Richard Towers. Eric Baholi fights on YouTube's on Box Nation. I watched that fight. That fight was in the UK. And Andre Radinko, he took his undefeated record. That fight was in the UK. So he's had a few fights, you know. I mean, let me see, Paul Butlin, another fight. But these are all winnable fights that were in other places. You know, it's not like he's fought his whole career on the road. He has fought some fights outside of Australia. Probably about 5 or 6 of them. Maybe 7. The Shagayev fight too. So he has traveled. He isn't lying about traveling, but I mean, you know, you got to also tell us who you were fighting when you were traveling, you know. But the Radinko win is a good win. I've seen Hughie Fury outbox Radinko. You know, the Baholi win is a good win. I've seen Dylan Carmen beat Baholi. So they actually had a fight of the year. But I like Lucas Browne coming out and, you know, responding to these guys. But, I mean, when you beat guys like Julius Long and Chauncey Williver and, you know, Clarence Tillman and, you know, I mean, you know, it's not like he's went through the gauntlet of heavyweights, you know, to get his title, you know, but he did remain undefeated and he did what he had to do, you know, as far as being rated in the WBA and getting in their tournament and getting his shot at Shagayev. But to make it seem as if, you know, like the Chauncey Williver fight and Julius Long fight was the fight that really put him over the top, I think that's kind of far-fetched. But, you know, Lucas Browne's going to enjoy his, you know, his shine and, you know, his light right now, and I expect him to. But I don't know if he should just be just so dismissive of these guys, because these are all good fights. The guys that are calling them out, they're all good fights, you know. But I can't get mad at him and his team. They did sign a contract, you know. So if they have to fight Kendo next, well then so be it. It is a contract and it is business. But it just seems as if, you know, Lucas Browne is just, maybe it's just me as a fan, but it's just he's coming across as if like he is, you know, for real, the man at heavyweight. And I just don't see it like that. You know, it's just my opinion. But tell me what you guys think about this. Should Lucas Browne just focus on the WBA tournament and fighting Kendo next? Or should he explore some of these bigger names like Hay and some of these other guys that are offering him, you know, big money to fight? Or should he just continue doing what he's doing, enjoying his time off, and then fight Kendo maybe in June? Let me know what you guys think about this, about Lucas Browne and him claiming that guys need to work their way up for a title shot with him. YTBC, I'm out.